Greek literature told of Narcissus, the mythical son of a river god. It was prophesied over this extremely handsome Narcissus that he would have a long life and be very beneficial. There was, however, just one catch, and that one catch was that Narcissus was required never to look at himself. He could never catch a glimpse of himself. But one day, as Narcissus was bent down, taking a drink from the river, he saw in the water the reflection of these just handsome features, which was, of course, his own features. And after he saw that, the legend goes that he was never satisfied again. He could never actually do anything productive or get anything done that was worthwhile because he was constantly coming back to the reflection that he saw in the river. And he became obsessed with it, and though he tried to do greater things, he just couldn't because he kept being driven back to the river to see his own reflection. And psychologists have actually coined the phrase narcissism based on this legend. And that phrase narcissism, it is basically to describe somebody who is no longer able to look at life objectively, but they are actually caught up in the small world of self, and every decision that they make and everything they do is according to their own desires and their own wants, and their mindset is, what can I get out of this, or what will this do for me, how am I going to profit by it, and that's what it means to be a narcissism. And basically one of the greatest downfalls for a leader is that he or she gets caught up in himself, and you can so easily get caught up in your own reflection that it's difficult to break free and to do the will of God. And Paul understood this, and that's why he began to tell Timothy, he said, "Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of believers in word and conversation." And he goes on, in charity and in spirit. And charity, basically, and most of the time when you see the word charity in the Bible, it's describing love. And the love, he's saying, be an example in love. Your love will directly explain the feeling you have of yourself. It will be the example of what is going on in your own mind. The way you treat others is a response to the way you treat yourself and the way you act toward yourself. If you're so caught up in your own reflection, you're not going to treat others the same. That's just how it is. You're just not going to treat others the same. So what we're going to talk about in this video is love, charity, being an example in love and charity, and how this could hurt your ministry, and it also could help your ministry, and also your spirit. The way that you carry yourself, the way that you act towards yourself. You see, the problem and the issue for the young minister is that a lot of time when a young person begins to work in the ministry, they receive the anointing of God, and they receive the favor of God. And when you receive the favor of God and you receive this anointing in the Spirit of God, a certain amount of confidence will grow inside of you. And I've seen people who were as shy as could be, and but they started to get into the Spirit of God and feel the call of the ministry and begin to preach, and they completely outgrow themselves, and they no longer are this shy little quiet person, but now they are confident in what they do, and they are bold, and they are, they stand out among the crowd. And I've seen people who had no talent at all come into the church and begin to live for God, and out of nowhere it's like they start becoming talented all over the place, and start having all this stuff happening to them, and the reason for that is because you have the favor of God. God has blessed you with talents and favor and confidence. He's allowed you to have these things because these are essential for the ministry. However, when that begins to happen, there will become a separation between you and the other people. And there should be a separation. There should be a separation between the ministry and those who are not in the ministry. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't talk to each other, they can't congregate. In fact, you absolutely should find a way to congregate and fellowship and all that. But there will be a separation. The ministry should not be viewed as just like everyone else, and everyone else should not be viewed just like the ministry. There should be a complete separation there. But when there is a separation, it is easy for the young minister to grow overly confident in themselves and to start looking down on others because of it. And here's the fact of the matter. As the young minister is driven away, he must learn to love endlessly despite his seclusion. He needs to learn how to give himself fully, even though maybe he doesn't connect the same way or he doesn't fit in the same way. He needs to never stopping to try to connect and to try to fellowship and to try to love. I have seen some of the great ministers. I've seen many great ministers who have got the confidence and the boldness and the favor of God turn into bullies. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Turn into bullies. And it's because you have that confidence and that favor, and you haven't yet learned how to control yourself and how to make a separation there. But it's so easy to become a bully. Most of the time, preachers and ministers, when they get into this, they can become just very confident and very competitive in themselves. So they begin to compete with others, and no one really can compare most of the time with the minister. And you turn into somebody who you don't even realize a lot of times. I know because I've done it myself. Where you joke around with people and you don't realize as you're joking with them that you're actually becoming a vocal bully in their lives.